Hello everyone, today we are going to see program type questions in the first chapter of class 11 Sumitha Arora, introducing the problem solving. The first question is write the code to calculate the area and the perimeter of the rectangle. So let's start solving the first question. So for this question, they have asked us to calculate the area and perimeter of the rectangle. So the perimeter formula is just 2 times length plus breadth and the area is length into breadth. So first we have to get the length and breadth from the users. To get the user input, you have to use a variable name which here is L for length, which is equals to int input enter length. We are using int over here so that the input given by the user is only in integers. Next, coming to breadth is equals to int input enter breadth. Now after getting these values, now we have to calculate the perimeter and the area of the rectangle. So first we're going to find the perimeter. In perimeter we have two set of operations, 2 times length plus breadth. So to make it easier, first we're going to find length plus breadth, then we're going to multiply it with 2. So I'm just using a variable over here named a, which is length plus breadth, and now I'm using peri, which stores the perimeter, which is 2 times length plus breadth, which is a. So we found the perimeter. Now area is length into breadth, so just length into output it. We have to use the print statement. So print perimeter equal to, so we have stored it as peri, then the double quote will be shown as output, and which after comma, if you want to show a value which has been calculated, you have to use a comma and followed by the variable name, which is this, which we have calculated, area comma area. Next I'm gonna use the double quotes. The program is ready. So the length is 12, width is 2, you get the perimeter and area as this. Question 2. Write the code to calculate the simple interest. So it is asking us to calculate the simple interest, and the simple interest formula goes as PRT by 100. So P is principal amount. So we're first gonna get the input for it. So it is int enter principal amount. Next we're gonna get the rate of interest as input. This int input. Next time period, which is t equals to int time period in years. P R T, we're going to name this as S. Now SI equals to S divided by 100, because we want it to the whole thing divided by 100, so we're using a separate variable for it to be stored. Print the output using the print statement. So we have stored in the variable of SI, so it is SI. Now let's run it. So as you can see, it is asking for the principal amount, which is 2000, and rate of interest is 10%, and for the period of 2 years. So get the simple interest as 400. Question 3. Write the code to check whether the entered year is a leap year or not. So the logic we're going to use here is, if the year is divided by 4 and if the remainder is equal to 0, then we have to display it as leap year, or it won't be a leap year. First we'll get the year as input. Y is equals to int input enter the year. We're going to check if it is a leap year or not, so we have to use the conditions. So we're going to use if and else condition looping. So first you have to use if y is divisible by 4 and remainder equal to 0. So this is one of the operators where we use to check the remainder equal to 0. So if it is equal to 0, you have to print it as it's a leap year. It's a leap else statement and make it print it's not a leap year. So now let's test it out. So I'm entering 2023, which is not a leap year. Now 2024, and it is a leap year. The next question is write the code to check whether the number is positive or negative, which is asking to check if a number is positive or negative. So the logic we are going to use here is if the entered number is greater than 0, then we can say it as positive, and if the number is less than 0, we can say it as negative. N equals to int input, enter the number. Now we're going to check if it is positive or not. So we're going to use the if function. If n is greater than 0, then we want it to print as the number entered is positive. Else we'll print it as entered is negative. Now let's see it. So I'm going to enter a number minus 100. So it should say it's negative number. And if I enter 176 or 167, it should show positive. Write the code to check whether the number is odd or even. So we're going to use the logic that is the entered number when it is divided by 2, and if the remainder is equal to 0, then we can say it as an even number. If the remainder is not 0, we can say it as an odd number. So as the input, which is n equal to int input enter a number. Now we have got to check if it is even number or an odd number. So we're going to use the if condition to check this. So if n percentage 2 equal to 0, then we can print it as even number. Entered number is a even number. Else you can print it as number is odd. So I'm going to enter 10, which I know is a even number, so it should show the output as an even number. Now let us try 9, which is an odd number, and it should show as odd number. Write the code to categorize a person as either as child or teenager or adult based on the specified conditions into different groups based on the conditions on the given age restrictions, where they're given if the age is below 13, it should be categorized as child. If it is between 13 to 20, it should be teenager, and if it is greater than 20, we have to categorize it as adult. Is equals to int input into your age. Now we are going to use the if, elif and else loop to categorize. A is less than 13, they categorized as child. So print category equal to child. Next we have to use elif. Check the second constraint if the first one fails. Greater than or equal to 13 and age is less than or equal to 20, them as teenagers. So category equals to teenagers, else we can say they are adults. If the if condition fails, it moves to elif condition, and if the elif condition fails, it goes to the else condition. So in elif we have given two conditions. If both are true, only then this becomes true. Now let us check the program. We'll enter the age as 23, so it should show as adult, and if it is between 13 and 17, so let us enter the age as 15, so it is teenagers. Write the code to print all natural numbers up to n. So we are going to take the input from the user. So I have taken the input n from the user and I am asked them to enter a number. We are going to use the for loop to get the numbers, all the natural numbers. For I, which is a variable in range in range. A variable inside this will be 1 because we don't want any whole numbers to be outputted. So the value for natural number is 1. So we're going to start it from 1 till the number n. It is going to print I. So it takes values starting from this, and the n value it takes it as n minus 1. So if the n value there is 10, it will take I value from 1 to 9 only. So what we have to do is we have to give the last number as n plus 1. So let us see how this works. So let us say I want to print all natural numbers till 11. So I'll enter it as 11. So as you can see, it starts from 1 and ends in 11. So if I keep this as n, you can see that the last number would not be shown. So as you can, let's say again I want it to show all natural numbers till 11, but as you can see, it is printed all natural numbers till 10. You got to write here it as n plus 1. Write the code to accept 5 numbers and find its average. Now let us get the 5 numbers as input. So I'm going to take it as in1 and ask the input int input enter number. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for the four more times so that we get the 5 numbers in4 and in5. So as we know, average is sum of the numbers divided by the number of numbers which we have added. N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus N4 plus N5. AVG equals to sum divided by the n value here is 5. So 5. The average of 5 numbers is AVG. So the first number is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And now we're going to see the average of all these numbers entered, which is 30. Write the code to find the factorial of the entered number. So there are two ways in which we can do this. We can use either the math, which is a built-in library in Python, or we can use for loop to find the factorial of the number given. So first let us get input as in input math, which is num equal to int enter number. Now to find the factorial of this using the math tutorial, so it is equal to math dot factorial of a number. We see the number, which is this. Print factorial equal to FACT. So if it is 4, the factorial of 4 is 24. Let's use the second method to find the factorial of the entered number. So we are getting number as input from the user. Then we have to store factorial equal to 1 if condition to check if the number entered is greater than 1 or not. So if it is greater than 1, we can use the for loop. So for I, which is from 1 to n plus 1, and if factorial equals to factorial into I, factorial of 3, I as 1, so which is 1 into 1 1, then I becomes 2, which is 2 into the previous factorial value which is holding as 1, which is 2, and when 3 is entered, which is 3 into 2, which is 6. So the factorial of 3 will become 6, right? Factorial equals to real equal to factorial. So let us say 3, the factorial should be 6. Thank you for watching Spectra series. Make sure you tune in for future videos. Thank you.